surprise for you. Victoria, for your hand in marriage, I'd cross oceans.
You're funny, Tristan. Oh, Tristan, a shooting star.
I'd cross the wall and I'd bring you back that fallen star.
You can't cross the wall. Nobody crosses the wall.
Excuse me, have you seen a fallen star anywhere? We're in a crater. This must be where it fell.
Yeah, this is where I fell.
You're the star. You're the star? Really? Oh, wow.
You've seen stories of magical worlds, wicked witches, flying pirates, and dashing princes. But never has there been an adventure quite like this.
Everyone's talking about fallen star.
When I find her, the glory of our youth shall be restored.
This is the part where you tell me who you are and why you're up here.
We're just trying to make our way home.
Touché.
You better be telling the truth, you two-faced dog.
I can get you one of them, actually. Very good guard dogs. They can watch the back and the front door at the same time.
Enough.
Where's the girl? You have seconds to live.
Now we shall begin.
I know what you are.
Get him.
It's just you and me now.
Not for long.
Hold me tight and think of home.
Remember to unmute myself. Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire Geek. It's blooming warm here. I'm sweating cobs. Absolutely sweating cobs. Anyway, that was the trailer for Stardust. Hope you can hear me. I'll just double check. Because you never know. Come on then, play. Oh, does that? No, never mind back there. Yes, we have sound. Yes. Anyway, welcome to the Monday Moan. As you saw from that trailer, we're doing Stardust this week. I'd never seen it all the way through. I once started watching it and I thought, this is rubbish. So I switched it off about 15 minutes in, something like that. I didn't like it at all. I've watched it today and I thought it was okay. So it's going to be a weird show, is this one. But there were parts in it that did get on my nerves. So we'll get into that. But that was the trailer. Let's make sure we are going. We should still be okay. Well, we are, because I saw it, didn't I? But anyway, I'm also on, we're also live. We're live on YouTube, obviously. We're also live on Rumble, I hope, because it did silly things earlier on. So we'll see what's happening. Yes, I'm live on Rumble, and we should be live on Twitch as well. And I keep saying, I don't know why I keep doing Twitch, because no bugger watches me on it. But there we are. Anyway, so, right, Stardust. Information about this film. It was directed by Matthew Vaughn, who also directed, like, Kick-Ass and the, whatchamacallit film, Kingsman. I think he did that, didn't he? And other stuff. And he also co-wrote it with Jane Goldman, based on the novel by Neil Gaiman. No, I've not read it. I'm not a huge Neil Gaiman fan. As I've said before, I think he stole one of my ideas for Doctor Who. Long story short, I once sent off a spec script for a Doctor Who story to the BBC, because apparently they were accepting spec scripts because they were an address and everything. And they sent it back saying, sorry, we can't do anything with this, whatever. And then such and such a time later, a couple of years later or whatever, there were an episode of Doctor Who written by Neil Gaiman that had things that were in my bloody spec script. But, obviously I didn't do anything about it because I couldn't really prove this, that, and the other. And I thought, well, what the heck? Anyway, but that's by the by. Right. Stardust, as I said, written by Jane Goldman, the lovely and buxom Jane Goldman. Famous for being Jonathan Ross's wife, as well as her writing. And we've got a bevy of stars in it. We've got Ian McKellen, Sir Ian McKellen, as the narrator. We've got, who else have we got? Obviously, Michelle Pfeiffer, Catwoman. Lots of superheroes in this film. There's Catwoman, there's Superman, there's Daredevil, Frankenstein's monster. Is that class as a superhero? Maybe. I don't know. We've got... is it the Countess from G.I. Joe? She's in it as well. Sienna Miller, Charlie Cox, Henry Cavill, Michelle Pfeiffer, Robert De Niro, and many. Peter O'Toole. Peter O'Toole's in it. Mark Strong, another, not a superhero, but he played a baddie, didn't he, in Green Lantern. Who else? Rupert Everett, David Williams, Claire Danes. Well, I didn't realise it were her at first, but never mind. For some reason, I got it in my head. It were her that played Cinderella. Is it not Cinderella? Alice from Alice in Wonderland, the live action ones. Is it Mia something ski? But it's not. It's Claire Danes. Who you may know from Terminator 3, among other things. Who else? We got Joanna Scanlon and Sarah Alexander, whose face I thought I know that face, but the name doesn't ring any bells. But never mind. Who else have we got? Mark Williams, who you may know from Harry Potter. Dexter Fletcher, who in my opinion is the best actor in this film. I'll explain that as we get there. Who else? Ricky Gervais, who in my opinion is the worst actor in this film, but we'll get to that. And who else? And other people. Spencer Wilding is in it, playing a pirate. He's been in lots of stuff. And what else can we tell you about it before we get on with the film? It had a budget of $70 to $88.5 million. I'm not sure. Quite a wide margin there, wasn't there? And its box office was 137 million, so it didn't really do that well. To be honest, it should have done better than that. I think technically that means it lost money, probably, but a lot of people seem to like it. And it was filmed mostly in the UK at when are we filming? In the Scottish Highlands, on the Isle of Skye, which is also in Scotland, and in Hertfordshire, and Buckinghamshire, and Wiltshire. All the shires. Oxfordshire, no Yorkshire. Norwich, which is in Norfolk, and where else? And at Pinewood Studios, and I think that's about it. And in Wales as well, at the Brecon Beacons, which we mentioned that recently, and I can't remember where from. Where did they mention the Brecon Beacons? I don't know. I can't remember. Who else have we got? The music. Score was composed by I don't know how you pronounce that. Is that Ilan Eshkeri? Never heard of him, but it's a pretty good score, I must admit. It's very orchestral and stuff. And what else? I think that's about it. Right, let's just get on with it, shall we? Let's just get on with it. By the way, Windgrace is gracing us with his presence. Mark Strong was also in Shazam with superpowers. I can't remember. The first one. I've seen the first one, but I can't really remember much about it. I thought, it was fine, and then I've forgotten everything that happened in it. I haven't seen the second one yet. But he usually plays a baddie, and of course he plays a baddie in this one. Right, let's get on with the film. Right, where are we? So let me get myself sorted. I'm all a dither, as usual. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Forgot to mute it. Don't want to get into trouble, do we? Right. As usual, I'll not be just playing the film. Although I am tinkering with an idea for doing like a Mystery Science Theatre 3000 type thing going on with some like old films that I shouldn't get into trouble with the copyright things. But anyway, I'm going to test that out at some point. Anyway, we're going to just go through it in a series of stills, and I'll talk about it, tell you what I think, and might play the odd little clip if I want to. And what else? And before we get going, don't forget. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already. As I said, I'm also live on Rumble and Twitch. For some reason, when I set up Rumble, it did two videos for some reason. I don't know why. That's why I were confused and getting all weirded out. But it seems fine. And later on, it'll also be on Spotify and Amazon Music Podcasts and Google Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you want to send me a message or whatever on there. Links are in the description, as are the links for my 2 books. Got to keep plugging them. Silent Predator, a short horror novella about big cats eating people in North Yorkshire, and Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff. It's just a bit of fun. It's on Amazon Kindle and paperback. I know somebody in the chat that's got a copy of both of those. And he's probably sold them on eBay or thrown them in the bin. Anyway, right. Let's get on with this. Let's make myself titchy. As I am wont to do. There we go. And let's pop that on. There we go. Right, off we go. Right, we're starting off, of course, with the Paramount logo. One of my favourite, in what they call idents. One of my favourite idents. As I've said, the Universal one, the old Universal one that used to set an MCA company. For some reason, that's my favourite ident. I don't know why, it just is. Right, off we go. See what's happening. Paramount Pictures in association with Marv Films. Right, we get Ian McKellen talking about stars and stuff. I didn't really understand all this, but at the end, I was like kind of filling up a little bit, but never mind. Talking about, men watch the stars, but do the stars watch back? Stuff like that. It's a fairy tale. That's what this film is. I never thought about putting them on eBay. You won't get anything for them, mate. Tell you that for note. There's the moon. Oh, there, we're going to go to a thing now. This is set in the 1800s, by the way. I forgot the exact date, but the mid 1800s. Then we cut to a scene here of a man looking through a telescope at the moon and the stars in a brightly lit room. This is the worst place to do astronomical observations. If you're going to be doing astronomy, you've got to be in the dark, or at least have a red light. Then your eyes don't need to adjust. But anyway, so that were immediate red flag for me. I thought, oh, for God's sake, it was the first scene of the film, and I'm already picking at it. Anyway, so we go over and we see that this scientist, has received a letter from somebody called Dunstan asking something or other about, folklore from a village called Wall. And this scientist is telling him he's talking out of his bum and he doesn't need to worry about it. So then we cut to the village of Wall, which is near a wall, apparently. I don't think it's based on a real village. You know what it reminds me of? I don't think it will be the same one. Hang on, let's go back again. There we go. For some reason, it doesn't look like it at all. But I were given Sleepy Hollow vibes. I wonder if it's the same village that were built for Sleepy Hollow, but I think it's totally different. It could be a real village for all I know. I don't bloody know. Anyway, right. So there we go. There's the wall, and with the gap in the wall. Now, spoilers. Apparently, if you go through this gap, you pass into another realm called something or other. I forgot already. It'll show us in a minute. And but I don't know what would happen if you just climbed over the wall somewhere else. Do you have to go through that gap to go to this, enchanted realm? I don't know. It doesn't really make that clear. Anyway, so this young man Dunstan wants to go through the gap, and this is the guardian of the gap, played by David Kelly, who, if you're in the UK, you may recognise him from the 1970s. He's still knocking, but he looked old in that as well in the 1970s. 1970s comedy. Robin's Nest. He played the one-armed dishwasher in that. An Irish fella. I can't remember the name of the character. But here he is playing the guardian of the wall. He's not got to let anybody through. He says, there's been somebody guarding it for, I don't know, 200 years or whatever. But Dunstan wants to go through. He wants to prove to these scientists, still better than the guardian of forever from Discovery. Yes, it is. Well, anything's better than that. That garbage. Don't spoil the mood. Where were we? He wants to go through, because I think this is what he wrote the letter about to this scientist, about, passing through this gap could lead to a magical realm, and obviously the scientist didn't believe him, so he wants to go and prove it, but the Guardian won't let him through. So it seems to, give up, and he says, "Okay, then I won't bother." Then not Dunstan, the Guardian. Has he got a name? I don't know. Hang on, let me check. I think he has got a name, but I can't remember what it is. Where are you, David Kelly? David Kelly, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm sure you weren't all the way down there. Where are you? Where the heck has he gone? He was quite near the top. There he is. Oh, it just says guard. I thought he had a name. I could have swore they spoke of him by name, but obviously I'm mistaken. Right, so he's going, sending him away. So it makes out he's going to go back home, but then, as we see, I've gone too far. When he turns his back, the Guardian turns his back, and then Dunstan legs it, hey, jumps through the gap, passing into the magical realm of whatever it's called. I'm going to have to look it up. Only watched it today, and I'm already forgotten. Stormhold, that's it, Stormhold. It kind of reminds me of that game that were out. What was it now? Dishonored. For some reason, it reminds me of that. For some reason, I don't know why. But anyway, so off he goes into the woods. But what? So to get to Stormhold, you have to go through this particular gap in this fence. So if you just jumped over the wall anywhere else, you'd just be in England, on the other side of the wall. But yet, going through this gap, you go to this magical realm where there's, cities and castles and all sorts going on. But no dragons. Never mind. I can't really explain how it works. It's magic, I suppose. It's a fairy tale. Anyway, off he goes, and he goes through the woods, and he comes across a town that doesn't land on for some reason. Go back again. There we go. A town. I'm sure it's got a name. I can't remember. I think Market Town or something like that. That sounds right, doesn't it? So he goes there, has a look around the Market Town. It's very cosmopolitan. People with feathers on and stuff. And he comes across like a little gypsy caravan selling goods outside with an attractive lady eyeing him up. And I was thinking, well, she's going to be trouble. And it turns out she's not. She is, but she's not. I thought she was going to be a baddie, but she isn't. But anyway. So she gets his eye, obviously, and he goes over. And then we come across this woman who is Ditchwater Sal or something like that. Who's she played by? Melanie Hill. I couldn't have told you her name. And her face is familiar. I've seen her in something else. But I don't know what. She'd probably been on TV here in the UK, I should imagine. But she's not very nice. And so she's telling the young lady to deal with this customer. There she is. Turns out, spoilers, she's a princess called Una. Not Una Chin Riley from Strange New Worlds. She's called Una, which, means one, doesn't it? So she's number one. But anyway, she's obviously flirting with young Dunstan. I can't who she played by. I'll have to tell you, won't I? Kate McGowan. Is that her that were in Merlin, and she were also in Supergirl as one of what's his bloody name now? One of the Luthers. Is that what I'm thinking of? I'm gonna have to. I'll check that one. Kate McGowan. Let's look her up. I think it is. Maybe not. She were in GoldenEye as the voice of Xenia on the Top in the game. Primeval, Stardust. I'm sure I might be thinking of. No, I must be thinking of somebody else. Who am I thinking of? Who played Morgan Le Fay in Merlin and somebody else in one of the Luthers in Supergirl. Anyway, it wasn't her anyway. So right. Is looking at these flowers. Apparently they're made out of glass, these flowers, but they're quite sturdy. They won't break. And he likes the blue ones, the bluebells. And she tells him how much they cost. Some things will cost his heart, and some things will cost him his memories from before he was 3 years old or whatever. Well, fair enough. You can take mine. I can't remember anything from then. But he wants Kate. Is it Kate McGrath? Yes, it might be. Yes. I was close. It had a muck. It had a muck. Anyway, I was thinking as I was saying it, this Kate McGowan, I was looking at her thinking, I'm sure the one that played at that were in Merlin were a bit more buxom. Anyway, that's by the by. Anyway, so he's got to decide what he wants to buy. Then she says, if she were him, she'd go for the snowdrop. So he picks the snowdrop, and the price of that is a kiss. So they have a little smooch. That's the price of the snowdrop. I don't know what Ditchwater Sal would say about this sales pitch, but not exactly making money, is it? So he gets the snowdrop and gives it gives her a kiss. And then we learn that she's tied up with some magical cord. There we see. That cannot be broken. He tries to set her free. He cuts the cord, but it magically heals itself, does the cord. The only way she can be freed is if Ditchwater Sal dies. Oh, they were going to see it mending itself. There you go. Because of that, it's still got a bit of the cord left because he cut it, but it mended itself, but it's still got some left, and we see that later. So she tells a tale that she's a slave to Ditchwater Sal, who it turns out is a witch. But anyway, but that's not going to stop them from having a night of passion, because that's what's going to happen here. They go into the go into the caravan. I'm sure it all jiggles about for a while, and then Dunstan goes home. There we go. There's a map. There's England on the left, and there's Stormhold on the right. But you've got to go through the gap to get to Stormhold. Oh, we're right. It's called Market Town. All right. But what happens if you jump over the wall over here? Are you still in Stormhold, or are you just in England still? I don't know. Is it a magical gap? I don't know. Anyway, so he gets back home. He goes back home, this Dunstan, and with nice memories of his visit to Stormhold, his visit through the gap in the wall, and 9 months pass, and then he gets a delivery. Here we go. This is the guard from the wall says this was left for him at the wall. Hang on. Someone should build a wardrobe around that hole. Yes, they should. Yes, they should. Yes. Actually, I'm probably wrong now. Isn't this Prince Caspian? I don't know. I'm going to check. I'm going to have to check that again now. Where are we? Young Dunstan Thorne, Ben Barnes. Yes, it is. That's Prince Caspian, isn't it? From Prince Caspian, the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe film. So there you go. Spooky, eh? Anyway, so a baby has been left for him. Apparently, its name's Tristan. Is the baby? There's a note, and he's got to take care of it. So obviously, the young Una, as it's the seed from Una. That's what it is, and young Tristan, and obviously. We learn that Una couldn't look after the baby. Ditchwater Sal wouldn't allow it, but she allowed her to have the baby. But it's been sent to Dunstan in England. So he's got to look after the baby now at his house at 3 the High Street, the Wall. So he looks after the baby and raises the child as his own. I don't know who they're saying the mother is. I don't know. They don't broach that subject really. But anyway, 18 years pass, and there we go. Young Tristan emerges, played by Daredevil, Charlie Cox. He works in a shop at the Wall. He's lived all his life there. He hasn't been through the gap. I don't think he even knows his dad went through the gap. I think that's a secret. He's kept that secret all these years. But obviously, the guard knows, which we will see later. But young Tristan has got his sights set on Victoria, who we'll see in a minute. He's got a bunch of flowers there. So off he goes to see Victoria. I don't know who she is. I don't know. She's the daughter of somebody important in the village. I don't know, but he likes her. So he's throwing stones up at the window to get her attention, and she thinks it's Humphrey, who is another suitor, played by Henry Cavill. So we're going to have a fight in a moment between Superman and Daredevil. Who would win in that? Oh, and obviously. But obviously she's not interested in, there she says Sienna Miller as Victoria. You may know as the Countess in G.I. Joe. In all that black vinyl. Anyway, but I think she kind of thinks he's sweet, but she thinks Humphrey, who we'll see in a moment, is sweeter. And here he comes in a moment. There he is. He's brought Victoria some red flowers, some chrysanthemums or some roses. I don't know what the hell they are. So they have a little sparring session, and Humphrey beats him and knocks him over. There we go, several times. We saw Homelander versus a guy like Daredevil in The Boys. Didn't work out well for Daredevil. Yeah, I can't remember that. I remember him doing something with a deaf fella, and he like smashed his ears in or something, didn't he? Or were he blind and they were using his ears, wasn't it? It was something like that, wasn't it? Can't remember. Anyway, so there we go. So she's more interested in Humphrey because Humphrey's, handsome and probably richer than Tristan, because Tristan just works in a shop. I don't know what his dad does. I don't know what Dunstan's doing, but anyway. All right, so next morning, yes, it is next morning. Tristan's coming down. He's late for work. Dunstan asks him how he did with his date, and he says, "Oh, we're fine." So he rushes out to work. Dunstan's changed into a totally different person. He's no longer Prince Caspian. Who is he now? Who plays old Dunstan? Where are we? Dunstan. Nathaniel Parker. No idea. But his eyebrows almost meet in the middle, which makes him a bit shifty in my eyes. Right. Victoria's heading to the shop. There we go, where Tristan works. I'm getting mixed up with these names. And there's a queue, but she pushes right to the front of the queue because she knows Tristan's got the hots for her. So she asks for all this stuff, and then Tristan agrees to take it all home with her. which gets him fired, apparently. He loses his job at the shop because of this. So this is probably the straw that's broke the camel's back, but I think a bit harsh. A bit harsh. I mean, he's providing a customer service, isn't he? To an attractive young lady. But here he is practicing telling his dad. Oh, yes, I've left a chat on the screen. Hang on, let's get rid of it. Here we go. Sorry. Occupational hazard. Being an idiot. He's practicing telling his dad that he's lost his job, but his dad walks in, and so he knows. So there we go. But he's not, he's not angry with him or anything, because he's a good dad and he's a good man. And he says, Tristan can go out and do whatever he wants. Can be whoever he wants, blah, 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 and all that jazz. Right, so what's happening next? So he's going back. He's going back to try and woo Victoria once again. And he thinks he's got no chance. Because she's got eyes for Humphrey. But she actually comes out. He starts walking away, slightly dejected. But she comes out and links arms with him. And they go on a kind of little picnic. There we go. They're drinking champagne. He spent all his savings on some champagne to woo Victoria. So they're having a nice time by the wall, as you can see. Lots of candles about. You think they'd get blown out, wouldn't you? But must be a calm night. For once in England, it's usually windy all the time here. She's saying she's going to marry. Essentially, she's going to marry Humphrey because he's gone all the way to Ipswich. Because they're not talking about travelling. So in those days, people didn't travel a great deal, did they? So apparently, they've gone all the way to Ipswich. So there must be Norfolk somewhere, because that's not Ipswich is in Norfolk, in East Anglia. So it's probably not, a few miles away. He's gone there to get a ring to ask for her hand in marriage, and Tristan says, "Oh, he's only on to Ipswich. I'd go to San Francisco and the gold mines to get a ring for you and all that. He'd walk 500 miles, and I would walk 500 more." So he's doing all that, saying he'd do all this, that, and the other, and then they see a falling star. Or are we going to cut to something else first? I think we're going to cut to something else first. We've got some other plot points to get through while he's busy getting her drunk. Oh, that's where he's telling her about he'd go to the North Pole or somewhere and kill a polar bear and bring back its head for her. And that's where she's saying, "Ooh." So that kind of put her off a bit. It is a bit, as I say, it's got that sort of like dark fairy tale sort of humour to it, So there's some weird things that are in it that you think, yeah, I can imagine in a regular fantasy film, I wouldn't have accepted it, but because this is kind of a bit of a fairy tale, you think, I suppose it's fair enough. Right, so there we go. So she's obviously, she likes Tristan, but she likes Humphrey more because he's more of a catch, isn't he? Anyway, there we go. We're going to have another bit of plot development coming along. There we go. We rush over Market Town, zooming across Stormhold to the King's Castle. Here it is. The King is dying. We'll see in a moment. Lying on his bed. The King's played by Peter O'Toole. There he is. And he's gathered his sons. Apparently, he used to have 7 sons. He had 7 sons and a daughter. I'm guessing the daughter was the firstborn because she's called Una. So I'm thinking, was she the firstborn? But then he had 7 sons. I wonder which was the 7th son. Well, it was Septimus, wasn't it? Which is Mark Strong. So Mark Strong is the 7th son of a 7th son. Iron Maiden. But is he psychic? No, he's not. Hello, Joshua. You've not missed much. What happened then? That popped up weirdly. So he's gathered his sons. Apparently, he had 7 sons. He's not got 7 left anymore. I think he's got 4. I think 3 of them have been killed by the other sons. Apparently, this king's not a very nice person. He had 12. He was one of 12 brothers, or he had 12 brothers. He killed them all to become king. So he's not a very nice person. So who have we got? I can't remember. This got Jason Fleming, who you may know from League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He played Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. There we go. So that's Mark Strong, who's been in lots of things, usually as baddies, and he's a baddie in this. We've also got, see if it will show any of the others. Oh, God, there we go. There's Matt Strong again. I think that's Rupert Everett, who plays, I can't remember, I'll check. Mark Strong is Septimus, so he was the seventh son. Jason Fleming is Primus, so I think he was the first son. Rupert Everett is Secundus, obviously the second son. This is Tertius, played by Mark Heap, I do believe. Yep. And there's there's three other sons that are dead, but we still see them because they're around as ghosts for some reason. But anyway, we don't see them just yet. We see them soon. And you're given the impression. Oh, see, I still haven't done this. There we go. Wingray says, in opposition to this idea, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is a horrible movie that I actually enjoyed. Yes, I really, really, really like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I don't know why it gets all the hate. I don't know why Sean Connery didn't like it either. I think it's a great film. I think it's a great adventure, like a boy's own story, and it'll never appear on the Monday Moan because it's good. Right, so they've got to decide who's going to be the king when the king dies. And Joshua agrees. Just watch League with my daughter the night. It's fun. It is. It's really good fun. Whatever happened to the director whose name I've forgotten? He also did Blade. I can't remember his name now. But he hasn't done much else since, has he? Not that I've noticed. Anyway. Right, so they've got to decide who's going to be king when this king dies. He's going to die very shortly. The late, great Peter O'Toole, who, he's been in everything, hasn't he? You know what Peter O'Toole's been in. Stephen Norrington, that's the fella. Yes, thank you, Joshua. And Connery was pretty much a curmudgeon by that time. I don't know, probably. I don't know. I mean, he can't complain about League of Extraordinary Gentlemen when they were in that bloody awful Avengers film. Not MCU Avengers, the Avengers, John Steed and that one. I forgot the bloody name now. Mrs. What's-Her-Face. Uma Thurman played Mrs. Emma Peel, that one. That was awful with that film. Anyway, right. So to decide, you're given the impression that this fella, Rupert Everett Secundus, is first in line. Hottentot Avengers. I don't know. He quit directing after LXG, did he? Stephen Norrington? Oh, that's a shame. That's a shame. Because he was a good director. As I said, he did Blade as well, which were a good film. Anyway. Oh. Right, so you're given the impression that Rupert Everett here, Secundus, is first in line. You think he's going to be the one. Because he arrives late and he's all cocky. And so the king tells him to go look out the window. What do you see? So Rupert Everett, Secundus goes over. There he goes, and he looks out and he sees, Stormhold, my kingdom. And then I think it's Septimus goes over and just pushes him out of the window. We will see. He catches up. Go on. And we look, pushes him out the window. So that's the end of Secundus. And as he's looking over, Tertius moves to kind of push Septimus out, but he backs off. So now there's just three. Hang on. Yes, there's Primus as well, isn't there? I forgot about him. Oh, he's there in the background there. Look. So just three left now. Hang on, people are talking as I'm trying to go through this film. Now then, Joshua, what you say? Actually, just rewatched The Avengers with my daughter too. She really enjoyed it, and I mostly did. Apparently, the studio chopped 30 minutes out, and it's completely changed everything. All right. presumably you're talking about the Avengers, you know, the John Steed and Emma Peel Avengers, the Sean Connery one, and it's Ray Fiennes in it as John Steed and Uma Thurman as Emma Peel. I hated it. That was awful. I couldn't do no. I can't do a Monday Moan about it because not everybody likes it, do they? But yeah, I didn't like it. But if there's another cut that makes it better, I don't know. It might be good. I just didn't like the scene where they're all dressed as teddy bears. It did me head in. And Wingray says, I call it Hat and Cat. Oh, is it Hat and Cat? Was it? Oh, aye, Hat and Cat. My eyes are terrible. I saw Hot and Cot. Tell you, new glasses, they're useless. I call it Hat and Cat because bowler hat and cat suits are the defining features. Oh, well, yeah. Very good. Very good, Wingray. You got to be more specific. Because I'm an idiot and I'll never work it out. Nice. Right, where were we? Right, so there's 3 brothers left, 3 princes left. And it's all very funny. There we go. We see the ghost now of the previous lot. There we see that's oh god, it's in what we do in Shadows, the series is in that. But I've forgotten his name, so I'm gonna have to check. Adam Buxton plays Quintus. That's Quintus. Julian Ryan Tutt there as Quartus. You may know him from Tomb Raider, the first film with Angelina Jolie and David Walliams as Sextus. That's David Walliams. You know what? I never even realised I've just read that. That's David Walliams. You may know from Little Britain, the series. Right. There we go. No better cut. That film is gone forever. All right, so it's all right. That's a shame. So I'll not watch it because I thought it was rubbish. Not Avengers. Right. So, but apparently the what's his face is going to appear now. There he is. Secundus has appeared. They're all bearing their injuries from when they died. So Secundus his face is all squashed there from his landing. I presume Julian Ryan Tutt, I can't remember which one, froze to death. Looks like he burned to death, maybe. And that one has got an axe in his head. But they hang around, but nobody can see him. Nobody can see him. So I don't know whether I think it's just comedy relief. But they're hanging around until the new king is chosen. I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense. But, so now the king has got to make a decision which one is going to be king, and it's usually the case of the last surviving male heir becomes king. But it says in this case is adding another condition. He's got this jewel in a minute when he whips it out. There we go. A ruby, and it does something and makes all the red go out of the ruby. I don't know how, just does. Makes all the red go out of the ruby. And he says, whoever finds this and makes it go red again will be king. And for some reason, it just floats about and then bombs out the window. We'll see. Goes out. It's red and it catches up. It's floating there, and then there you go. Heads out the window. Phew, there we go. Cool effects. Phew, off into the stars. Remember the film's called Stardust. Nothing to do with David Essex, by the way. There was a film in the early 70s called Stardust with starring David Essex playing a rock star. Don't ask me what happened in it. I saw it when I was very, very young, and it wasn't my cup of tea. Right, so this there we see it's coming up from there. There's Great Britain, and there's Ireland, and there's Spain and France, and all the rest of Europe. You lot are over there somewhere on the left-hand side. Being cowboys in the mid 1800s, that's what you're doing over there. Right, so this goes off. There we go into the stars and does a explodey thing like that. I don't know what that is. What's that there? Don't know, but and then it starts coming back, as we'll see, when it all collapses in on itself. And there we go. It comes back. This is the star of the Stardust name. So down it comes, back to Earth. It's never explained why this happens. Yes, with this film, while this film is happening, Data is hanging out with Mark Twain. I don't know. I thought that was the, I don't know. I thought that was the late 1800s. I don't know. I can't remember. But yes, maybe. Yeah, maybe it was. So down it comes, the star. There we go. They see it. Tristan and Victoria see this star falling in Stormhold. Obviously, they don't know Stormhold exists. I wonder what's there then. If if you think imagine Stormhold's not there, what's on the other side of the wall? Is it is it Ipswich? I don't know. Anyway, so they see it, and Tristan says, "I'll go find this fallen star and bring it back to you in time for your birthday. It's a birthday in a week." She says, because Humphrey's going to ask her to marry him on her birthday in a week. So he's got a week to find this falling star and bring it back to Victoria, and she'll marry him. And I'd have said, sod that, buggy old woman. But it's a fairy tale, so he's got to do these impossible tasks. But she is very lovely. It is Sienna Miller, after all. I suppose if you're called Sienna, you've got to be attractive. I don't know why. All people called Sienna seem to be attractive, don't they? Sienna Guillory, remember her? She was very pretty as well. Anyway, so he decided that's what he's going to do. They finish off the champagne. He's got a week to find this. Here it's coming. Look, it's coming down to land. There it is. Whee! Oh, there's Michelle Pfeiffer looking well. But now she's watching this star going overhead. And down it comes and it lands. A minute. You go. Boom there. Cool. Just like Yucatan. Make sure we're not blocked. No, we're fine. We're fine. Just check for messages on the Rumble. Nope, nobody's saying anything. And obviously nobody's saying anything on Twitch because no bugger ever watches me on Twitch. I've said this before. I only put it on Twitch as well because that button is available on the StreamYards. Anyway, where were we? Right, so there we go. The meteor has landed. And then we zoom in. And we find out it's not a meteor after all, or a meteorite. Sorry, it's a meteor before it hits the ground. Once it hits the ground, it's a meteorite. It's a young girl. And it's Claire Danes, in fact. And at first I was thinking, I bet top of the list, because she does actually look a bit like it. Not in this bit, but in a moment. I thought, I bet top of the list for casting, I bet was Gwyneth Paltrow, because she kind of reminds me of Gwyneth Paltrow for some reason here. It's probably the blonde hair. There, looks just like Gwyneth Paltrow there, I think. But no, apparently not. Apparently Sarah Michelle Gellar was the first choice. They wanted her. Buffy. But she didn't want to be away from her husband while they were filming. Unbelievable. Anyway, there's Claire Danes. She's just lying there, wondering what's going on. And we see the necklace thing as well with the clear stone that's got to be turned red by the end of the film. Then we see these three witches. They've got names. I will tell you in a moment. Empusa, Mormo, and whichever one. What's her face plays? Michelle Pfeiffer. Where is she? Where the hell is she? There we go. Lamia. So we got. So which one is which? Where are we? That's Empusa, Sarah Alexander. That's Mormo, Joanna Scanlon. Joanna Scanlon's like a comedy actress. She was in Spaced. She played like a Nurse Ratched type character in Spaced in one episode. It's been in other stuff as well. But Sarah Alexander, her face looks really familiar, and I can't think what I've seen her in. Go on, let's have a look. Oh, I'm wasting time. But she's super pretty. Not there, but in real life. Let's have a look. What's she been in? She's been in Pennyworth, which I've not seen. Jonathan Creek. None of these I've seen. No. So I must have seen her in something because she does look very familiar. She was in the Peter Serafinovich show. Speaking of space, they were in that as well. No, nothing. Bridget Jones' Diary. She was in that. Maybe I remember her from that. Maybe I remember her from that. Oh, she was in Red Dwarf as well. Way back in 1997. Yeah, I don't know. But she's been in a few stuff. Mostly TV. Right, where were we? Hey, Archmage Frey. Fine, you made me come all the way over here. So you've got two people. Spoilers, I'm not. I'm a big secret, but they're one and the same. But how can they be? They're in the same room at the same time. Anyway, Wingrace says, I tried watching Coupling with her back in the day. I've never seen Coupling. I've never seen it because I just assumed it were about people having romantic stuff and all that. Go. So I never bothered with it. Maybe it isn't. She's actually married, is she, to Peter Serafinovich? Oh, very good. Peter Serafinovich. The voice of Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace, if you didn't know. And also The Tick on Amazon. Right, so Michelle Pfeiffer, I've forgotten the name already. Lamia wakes up her two sisters. These are witches, similar to Ditchwater Sal, but these are kind of like the queens of the witches. Are they like the Stygian witches that we saw in Jason Clash of the Titans? I don't know, but they're there. They live in this castle, got to go and get the falling star because that'll make them young again. Because hundreds of years ago there were another falling star, which were actually this falling stars, who's called Yvain, her sister apparently, but they got her, cut out her heart, ate her heart, and it made them young. But now they've got old again. They've got to find out where this star's fallen, and they've got to decide who amongst them is going to go and find it. They do that by killing a little animal. Hang on, I've gone past it, haven't I? I can't remember what animal it is. Again. Go back. Come on. They're going to get an animal out here. Come on, get it out then, for Christ's sake. Here we go. There's the animals. Is it a cat? I think they get a cat out. Is it? No, or a ferret or something. I don't know what it is. I think it might be a ferret. Get an animal out and kill it, and they'll take read its entrails, to divine where the thing's fallen, the falling star, and then to choose which one of them's going to go and retrieve it. They pluck out its organs. They close their eyes and pluck out its organs, an organ each, and the one gets a kidney and a liver. And but Michelle Pfeiffer cheats, and she looks and she gets its heart. So she's going to go and retrieve it, and they've got a little bit of the last star, falling star heart, whatever they call it. They've got a little bit left, so she eats that and becomes young again. There we go. It's in there. Very much like the suitcase of Pulp Fiction, isn't it? Except it's not glowing gold. There we go. So she's going to eat this. There we go. We see that she's got very little hair. So they're all wearing wigs. But there she is, and she eats it, and she's young again. She's beautiful, Michelle Pfeiffer. All what they call it, blurred out. So soft focus. That's it. All soft focus. She takes her clothes off for no reason. Don't worry, we don't see anything. But there we go. So then she's going to go and find the fallen star or falling star, Yvain. Right. So Tristan has got to go through the gap in the wall now. And at first, the guard thinks it's Dunstan because he says, you look like your dad. And then he says something like, you're going to try and get through the wall again. And he says, what do you mean again? And then he tries to, make out that he doesn't know what he's talking about. But he's not falling for it this time, is the guard. So he knocks over Dunstan. Dunstan doesn't get through. There you go. He tries to there you go. Tries to rush the gap, but to no avail. And he ends up getting driven back. There we go. Because I'm not falling for that again. Now he's got to find a way to get there. Can't go through the gap. But it says it's to go there magically. Right, so meanwhile, she's still lying there. Remember, it's next morning now. She's been there all night. Don't know why she can't move. But I think she still looks like Gwyneth Paltrow, but it's Claire Danes. But you may, as I said, you may know from Terminator 3. I think she's in Romeo and Juliet as well, wasn't she? But right, she gets up, but she still doesn't move yet. So she still sits there for a while. Meanwhile, Dunstan and Tristan are in the attic. And, here we go. Dunstan gives him his stuff that he got from his trip to Stormhold. Remember the string that that bound Tristan's mother. He's still got that, so he gives him that. That's the basket we brought in. And then there were a note in it that were addressed. There were a note in it that were addressed to Tristan. Yes, maybe that's right. Maybe that's right, Joshua. Perhaps because she isn't used to having a body. Yes, it could be. It could be because she was a star not so long since. I don't know why she's turned into a person, but she has. It's magic. It's a fairy tale. So he gives him this note that's addressed to him. So he reads it, and I can't remember what it says. It's something and something and something, exposition or whatever. I think actually telling that's it. Telling him about how his mother loves him, but she couldn't keep him because of ditchwater Sal. So she sent him to be with his father. He sends the note along with a Babylon candle, which is we see there the black thing that he's got there in his hand. A Babylon candle, which apparently you light it and then think of where you want to go, and it takes you there. I don't know why they call it a Babylon candle. I don't know. I'm sure Neil Gaiman explained it in the book, but they don't explain it in the film. Because Babylon's to do with languages and stuff, isn't it? Usually, But anyway. So he lights the Babylon candle. This is going to get him into Stormhold now. He's got to think about. He wants to find the falling star. So they light it, and that's what he thinks about. And then he disappears in a flash of light. Right, so off he goes. Right, Yvain gets on her feet, and then she sees this is Tristan arriving with his Babylon candle, the last best hope. And then he lands on her, like knocks her flying. Luckily, she's a tough broad. And then he says, all right, okay. See, Windgrace is getting all intellectual with us now. The Babylon candle appears to be inspired by the nursery rhyme, How Many Miles to Babylon? I've never heard that nursery rhyme. I've never heard of it. Never heard of it. I know it's a long way to Tipperary, but that's not a nursery rhyme. Anyway, well. He lands on it and says, are you my mother? And she says, do I look like your mother? Because he was supposed to think to go to his mother, but obviously his subconscious wanted to find the fallen star. So it took him to her. So he learns that she's the falling star. We found out her name's Yvonne. Yvain. He calls her Yvonne, but it's Yvain. I'll take hello, I'll take care. Good job as a Bohemian candle. Could end up anywhere. Or a Bohemian Grove. Right, so where are we? Right, so he's got to. He finds out she's the falling star, so he wants to take her back to Victoria as like a slave. So he ties her up with the cord that he'd been given by his dad, which somehow gets really long, and I don't know why. But he ties her up with that, and basically drags her out. In a bit, I think he actually has a nap first. No, I think he has a nap. Here we see Primus, and he's talking to the bishop, and the bishop's saying to him, because Primus seems to be the most, not the kindest, but the most even-tempered of the brothers. Bishop's saying, if you were to be king, you'd make a good king. So he's basically wanting to plot against the other two. But they're going to have some wine now. But as you might expect, it's been poisoned, and the bishop dies. And then Tertius dies. There we go. We see him die. So the wine was poisoned, and then we think Septimus dies, and he thinks he's going to be king. But then Septimus gets up and says, "No," says he's only alive because he drank from the wrong cup. The bishop drank from what should have been his cup. But no, so there's just two left now. Right, back with the witches. There was a bit in that trailer, wasn't there, that we saw at the beginning. It showed them all young, and I don't think we see that in the film. I never noticed it anyway. Could have been a blink and you'll miss it. Right, so she's got to take this blade. It looks like, is it obsidian or something? But they've got to use that to cut out the fallen star's heart. But she's got to go and bring her there first. So off she goes. Looks like she's walking. He's had his nap. He wakes up. Apparently she sleeps during the day because she's a star. Stays up at night. That's what's going on here. Then he decides he's going to take her. And then I think this is where he ties her up with the cord, the unbreakable cord. Right. So this is Bernard. I think it's his mother or his wife telling him to take this goat to whatever. Then Lamia appears. Some of these shots, they look very, blue screeny, as though they're not actually at that location. Usually with Michelle Pfeiffer. I get the feeling she didn't do a lot of location shooting. I get that impression. But this is one particular scene where it looks like, it doesn't look like she's there to me. It looks very blue screen. Anyway, so there's Bernard. We don't actually find out his name till later, when he doesn't actually look like he does now. We'll get to that. She turns him into a goat. There we go. She uses a bit of magic. Turns him into a goat. Hang on, let's go back a bit. Oh, there you go. And when she uses magic, it makes her a bit older. There you go. She gets all the, what they call them, spot things, liver spots on her hand. And every time she uses magic, that happens until it doesn't. But then it does. It stops doing it for a while for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, so she ended up with two goats. The white goat that Bernard was with, and she turned Bernard into another goat, and she uses them to ride off on this chariot that just happened to be there. And then this woman comes out and says, "Bernard." Right. Meanwhile, this is Septimus and his gang. They're out looking for. I don't know. They're looking for the fallen star, aren't they? Because that's he's after the necklace, isn't he? And he knows that that's what happened. It went up and came back down again. So that's what they're looking for. I think. The ghosts are tagging along, but obviously nobody can see them, so I don't even know why. I don't know why they're there. Thingamabob, I've forgotten names now. Tristan and Yvain. They're on a nice walk through the Scottish Highlands, and here's Lamia. I'm trying to work out. I'm looking at the edges of stuff. Is she actually there, or is it a blue screen? I don't know. I can't tell with that one. But she's looking damn fine, I must admit. Anyway, so yes, this is it. She comes across Ditchwater Sal. Another scene where it looks blue screened to me. She doesn't look. Is it something to do with the lighting? It doesn't look quite right. It doesn't look quite right to me. But anyway, Joshua says, yes, the ghosts are there because they're funny, and it's an interesting twist that they can't pass on. Well, yeah. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. I said they're there for comic relief. That's all they're there for. But I'm trying to think logically, why are they there? They're there because they're bound, aren't they, to the king, and they can only be free when the new king is crowned or whatever. So don't understand it. Right. Anyway, so she comes across Ditchwater Sal. They have a rabbit. Here we see that Una were being a bird for a while. This is where we learn that Ditchwater Sal's a witch, but she's still using her as a slave, and she uses her to do stuff, and then she goes back to being a bird again. Why? Don't know. But then she cuts the whatever it is it a rabbit or a hare, whatever, in half for them to eat. There we go. But Yvain, not Yvain, Lamia knows who this is. She actually calls her by name. Says, "How do you know who I am?" Says, "Of course, she's the queen of the witches or whatever." There she is, looking blue screeny again. Me. Hang on, where are we? There we go. Oh, for Pete's sake. Maybe you just think there's a blue screen because Pfeiffer is so beautiful. Well, she is, isn't she? There's no two ways about it. She's very radiant, isn't she? And it just she looks out of place. That's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't look quite right, does it? There's something, something off with the image. But she's a fine woman. Come on, sure. I'm pressing the button. It's not happening. Oh, what's up with this? They'll have on-site lighting to keep consistency throughout set scenes, i.e. outside where clouds may dim light. Well, yeah, but, they have all the reflectors and stuff, don't they? But there's still something off about it, and I still think she's done blue screenshots. I don't think she's done a lot of on-location work. That's my theory. So there you go. Right. Oh, there we go. She shows who she is to Ditchwater Sal. So she tries to plead for her life, but she asks her about the falling star, but I don't think she knows anything about it. But then she says to Ditchwater Sal, "If you come across the falling star," sorry, I'm doing that, if you come across the fallen star, whatever the hell they call it, you will not recognize her, you will not see her, you will not be able to touch her, blah blah blah. And that's that. So she used another bit of magic, and another bit of her other hand went all liver spotty. So that's that. So now Ditchwater Sal will never be able to see her, Yvain. Anyway, they're walking through a nice sylvan glen, very fantasy-like, very legendy. And we see a unicorn in it in a bit. She decides to have a sit down and have a rest because it's daytime and she's tired. She sleeps during the day. So there you go. She's having a sit down to have a rest. So he's going to go off to find a town or a village to find something to eat. And so he ties her up with the cord, which goes all the way around the tree. Like I say, it must be elven cord. It must be. So he ties her up and heads off, leaves her to go, get 40 winks, and he goes off to find some food. Then we cut to Iceland. It's obviously supposed to be the coast of Stormhold, filmed in Iceland. And we're with Septimus, and he's been following the instructions. Had been to a soothsayer. That's it. When he's on his horse, he'd been to a soothsayer to find out where this fallen star had landed, and he'd been told to go, west or whatever, or south or whatever. He'd gone a long way anyway to the coast. Obviously, no sign of the fallen star. So he has the soothsayer brought to him. We saw these big blocks of ice on the beach. But so basically, he has him doing the runes, casting the runes to find out, to answer questions. And apparently, when you're just casting runes, all it means is if the land writing side up, that means yes. If the land blank side up, it means no. And that's all there is to the casting of the runes. I think M.R. James might have more to say on that, but never mind. So they do this, and he's asking him questions. That's a yes. He's asking him what's his favourite colour and stuff like that. Is my favourite colour blue, whatever. And then he kills him. As we'll see in a moment. There we go. Stabs him. There we go. There's no blood in this, by the way. Although there's a lot of deaths in it. It's I suppose you could say it's for kids. It's a fairy tale. So he's killed the soothsayer, so he's got to go and now look for the fallen star by himself. And there she is, looking very blue screeny again. I keep saying it, but she's doing stuff. Can't remember what. Right. She's awake, obviously, because it's night. God knows where Tristan's gotten himself to, but he's probably been in the pub, as a bloke, But she's waiting for him. But then a unicorn arrives. There we go. She's all happy. She sees a unicorn. There we go. There's a unicorn. No sign of Tom Cruise, though, or Deckard. But the unicorn, it uses its magical horn. It touches the elven rope, and it disappears, so she's free. And she climbs on the unicorn. And off it goes with her on board. Off she goes. And she rides off. There we go. Watch out for Voldemort. He likes drinking unicorn blood, doesn't he? Etikor says, every time I see what's his name, I keep seeing Brothers Grimsby. Mark Strong, he was in that one, I think. Was Jason Fleming in that as well? I'm thinking of somebody else. No, it was him. I forgot his bloody name now. Yeah, I know what I mean. Yeah, the comedian fella. Ali G, that one. They didn't want it. But I've never seen it, though. I've never seen it. I've heard it's funny. Right, so we're back with Lamia, and she's in the middle of nowhere with the two goats. She's going to do some more magic. Remember when she did little bits of magic? It made liver spots appear in her hands. Her hands aged. She does a big bit of magic here, and nothing seems to happen to her for some reason. But anyway, she creates a whole inn in the middle of nowhere. She changes the goats into people. But first up, she's got to contact her sisters and basically, tell them what's going on and ask for any advice. And then they say that she doesn't have to move because the fallen star is headed for them. For her, sorry. So she's just stay where she is. Kill another animal. I think it's a crocodile this time. They're pulling the guts out and stuff, but it's not gory. It's fine. There we go. He arrives back. Finds she's gone. He's wondering what to do. Here we go. Now she creates She turns Bernard into a female goat, and she turns the actual goat into a male goat. There we go. Mark Williams into Mark Williams. Oh. But this starts out being Bernard. She turns Bernard back into himself, and then she turns him into girl Bernard with boobs. And there's Mark Williams as the male goat who just goes, and then she creates an entire inn. But I don't see her getting any older. Look, she looks fine, doesn't she? You think she'd go all wrinkly and stuff, but she doesn't. Then she's explaining that the goat, that one, Billy is called Billy. Mark Williams is going to be the innkeeper. She's going to be his wife. This is and Bernard is the daughter. So that's what they're doing. Because they know that she's on the way on a unicorn. Is Yvain? She is. She is. He's nodded off. Oh, is he? I think he's having a dream. Oh no, the stars. That's it. The stars are talking to him, and they're saying, "Find her," whispering these stars. "Find our sister." Because I think all the stars are women for some reason. Seem to be anyway. So he gets up and off he goes looking for Yvain. What's happening here? This is what's telling the stars that he's dreaming about, and they're telling him or giving him a vision in his dreams or whatever. What happened to the previous star that fell to Earth that the witches got their hands on, and we're Yvain's sister. So he's learning about that. There we go. Thought at first. Let's go back again. I could have swore that they look just like Kirsten Dunst, doesn't it? Does it? Does it say Yvain's sister? No, Elliot Sumner. All right. Yeah. Looks just like Kirsten Dunst to me, as Yvain's sister. I'm going to look down and see if Kirsten Dunst pops up uncredited. No, she doesn't. Right, never mind. Does to me. I'm gonna open that link in another tab. Doesn't look like the same person to me. Doesn't look like the same person to me. I think they've got that wrong on IMDb. I think they have. Go away then. That's it. Let's look on Wikipedia, see if it says anything on there. It says Coco Sumner as Ingrid Yvain's sister. So maybe Coco Sumner, maybe they're trans. Yes, they're now called Elliot Paulina Sumner. I presume they're a non-binary person. Still don't look like that. Looks like bloody Kirsten Dunst to me. Anyway, it's enough of that. Anyway, so basically they cut her heart out and eat it and get young again because they're baddies. Right. So he wakes up and off he goes. Here's a carriage. There we go. A carriage approacheth. So he's going to jump on it and miss. He goes running down. Oh, I've gone too far. He goes running down to jump on the carriage and bounces off it, basically. In a minute. Ready. He bounced off it, and it's the carriage of Primus. He stops and says he just wants a lift. He's not going to, he's not trying to rob him or anything. He just wants a lift. So it basically gives him a lift, and he acts as his, his servant, I suppose. Anyway, they happen upon this inn, but Yvain's got there first. So she comes in. There we go. And she has a bath and everything. Gets her in the bath, and food for her and all that stuff. Looking after her. Little does she know what's going on. There you go. There you go. She's putting magic green stuff in the water to relax her, apparently. anyway. She's all relaxed and she started glowing because when she's all relaxed and happy, she starts glowing. So that shows that she's a star. So then she's still glowing, look. So she's getting ready for bed. And then there's a knock at the door. She was ready to cut her heart out, I think, then. There's a knock at the door, and it's Primus and Tristan and the ghosts. Hey, what's happening here? William Barr. The film shite. All you got was a big radio play. Take that. So. Oh dear. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not arguing. Right, so she's got to deal with these fellas. I can't remember what happens. She kills. Primus gets in the tub and she kills him. She cuts his throat. Remember, I said there was no blood. There really is no blood because he's got blue blood. You know, because he's royal. She kills him. She's going to drink. He doesn't drink the wine because that's obviously poisoned. But he says, you know, my servant might like it, so we're going to take it out for Tristan, who's in the stable. Oh, there you go. Because Tristan's about to drink it, but then the unicorn comes bursting in. A minute. It is. And it knocks the drink out of his hand and it points to it on the floor because it's there you go. And we see it's burning all the hair because it's poison. There we go. And then she kills Primus. But he sees that around her neck. He wants that as Primus because that's his. There we go. No, see, you've gone too far now. Go back. There we go. He wants the gem, but then too far again. Come on, bloody hell! She's gonna come down, and she cuts his throat. There we go. We're gonna see it. No, not. There you go. He sees his throat cut, but then you see him in the tub, and he's got blue blood because he's royal. Kind of like the ghost idea, but it's played too much as an afterthought. Yeah, that's it. They're just there for comedy relief. I think the song grossed more than the film. I no, is it a Take That song at the end? I have no idea. I didn't watch all the credits, so I don't know. I don't know. As soon as the credits came on, I turned it off. I didn't care if there were an after credit scene. If there was, I missed it. He died naked, says Otter. Yes, he did. So he's going to show up as a naked ghost for the rest of the film. Right, so Billy is going to go after Tristan. The unicorn comes in. I thought it might impale him. Oh God, this was this got me. This looked crap. Come on, go back. Right, so he jumps out, goes meh, and he's going to dive on him and get him. There we go. But then the unicorn comes in. Here we go. Should have impaled him, shouldn't it? But don't. It just knocks him up, flying. He turns back into a goat for some reason, and into a rubber goat or a stuffed goat. It just like look garbage, didn't it? It's like you have an they call it $80 million film, and you can't do better than that for a dead goat. I don't know. Anyway, so what happened next? I can't bloody remember. They obviously get away. Oh yes, I think all the magic's unraveling. The inn is disappearing. By the way, she looks fine, doesn't she, Michelle Pfeiffer? There you go. She doesn't look any older, does she? There, but it's baffling. It's baffling. But in a bit, she looks older. When she does, it might be after this bit actually, when it all collapses and she looks a bit older. But she didn't look older at the beginning after she'd done all the magic to make all this stuff appear. Anyway, I mean, I'm waiting to see if she gets older here. I can't remember. Maybe she does. What's he doing? Oh, yes, he's got the the Babylon candle, and he lights it, and he says to her, "Think of home," because he's an idiot. He meant to say, "Think of my home." I don't know if she knows where his home is, but she thinks of her home, he thinks of his home, and hilarity ensues. So they disappear in a flash of light. There we go, and we find that they have appeared. There we go, in the middle of a thunderstorm on a cloud. Because that's scientific, isn't it? It's a fairy tale. It's, watch out for what they call them, storm beasts, storm demons. I can't remember what they call them. Off Twilight Zone. There's something on the wing. Anyway, so they're on the cloud somehow. This is where he's angry with her. She thought of going home to the stars. He thought of going home to Wall. They've ended in between on a cloud. Man, should be on the moon technically, shouldn't there? Somewhere equidistant between our solar system and interstellar space, but no, they're not. I think I'm being a bit too scientific. So they're there anyway. So they're arguing the toss, and they get caught in a net. I'm thinking, what the? So they get dragged aboard a ship, and I'm thinking, they're in a storm. Why? How is there a ship? Anyway, these pirates are here. Here's Robert De Niro as the head pirate, Captain Shakespeare. Worst character in the film. Bloody awful. You remember when Robert De Niro was once the greatest actor alive? What happened to him? Don't know. But he's crap now. Anyway, so he's on here. There we go. So they've caught them and they take them below. Here we go. And apparently these they call them pirates, but they don't do a lot of pirating, it seems. They're like catching lightning and storing it in barrels and bottles and stuff, and selling it to Ricky Gervais, as we'll see. Yeah. So there you go. They're tied up in the, I presume it's the hold of the ship. By the way, it's a floating ship. It's got a big balloon, that's floating through the sky. Nope, he never held that title. No, a lot of people did, though. Did say, well, Robert De Niro, the greatest living actor, didn't they, at one point? And when he was winning his Oscars and stuff, Raging Bull and all that. But I've never liked him. I've never rated him myself. And he's crap in this. Worst part of it. Absolutely the worst part of it. Anyway, so they're having a laugh about being caught, and then they're not having a laugh. By the way, he keeps going on to her about Victoria. She's sick of hearing of her. Right, so we've come up to I keep forgetting his name. Septimus. Hang on. Pirates use the net, steal stuff from the cloud. Well, I don't know. You mean like? Oh yeah, I see what you mean. You're being like an internet pirate. I think is that what I'm trying to. Joshua says he's had some good roles, but I've never put him near the top. Well, not me either. But they did have that appellation. Oh, is that a word? No, that's mountains, isn't it? Whatever. All Italian actors are the bestest ever. Yeah, I'm nowhere near Italian apart from his name. Anyway, Septimus has found the dead body of his brother Primus in the bath still. Obviously, the inn has disappeared. There's no sign of Lamia. I think not George. Bernard's still around. He's turned back into Bernard now. He's not got his boobs anymore. I'm going to find him in a minute, and there he is, and he doesn't know where they've gone. But he gives them a clue as to, so they said went in that direction or whatever. Why is the bath still there? That's a good question, isn't it? Yeah. That's a good question. Why is the bath still there? If that were a magically created bath, 'cause I don't think they brought it with them, did they? Well, no, they didn't, because I'm going to say Primus didn't bring it because she were in the bath before him, wasn't she? Yeah. Stupid film. Turn it off. Anyway. Oh, it's giving them a clue as to which direction they've gone, I think. So they're taking him with them. Oh, she's taking. That's it. That's I remember now. He said she took Lamia took Primus's coach because Primus is in it. Well, yeah, but it still doesn't make sense, does it? The bath we're on about. It's just so you don't see Jason Fleming's knob, basically. That's what it boils down to, doesn't it? Anyway, Michelle Pfeiffer's hair's falling out now, so she's getting old now. There we go. No, I know she reminds me of. Was it Sarah Alexander? She reminds me of. I've forgotten her name. Another British actress. She was in EastEnders. She's been in a lot of stuff, but she's most famous for being in EastEnders. But it'll come to me. In the middle of the night, Samantha Janus. It reminds me of her. Look her up. Right. So what's going on here? She's consulting with her sisters again through the mirror. We can see that she's starting to get old again. The pirate ship's still floating. It's very Monster Hunter-ish. It's my son's favourite game. They have ships like that in Monster Hunter World and that. Right, so what's going to happen here? I can't remember. They end up making friends with Captain Shakespeare. All is not what it seems with the captain, and so I'm just getting to that bit. Everybody's on looking for these. All the crew's listening in. The captain's talking to him, and he's being, at first he's being gruff, and he's saying, all these gruff things to him, and he's going to kill him and all that. And then we think he's killed Tristan. We think he's thrown him out the window. It's all a ruse, as we'll see. They're all listening in. And we saw him disappear. They're going to check. They see. There we go. They see that the captain's thrown his face, Tristan, out of the ship to his doom. So then he brings up Yvain and to take her to my cabin. There's Dexter Fletcher, the best. Oh, he's gone now. The best actor in the film. And he hardly has any lines. It's just his looks he gives. I don't know why I said that 3 times. His looks he gives. Anyway, so he takes Yvain into the captain's cabin, and then we see that there he is. Tristan's there, and he's fine in his undiplugs. And what they'd done, he'd thrown a mannequin out. He'd dressed the mannequin in Tristan's clothes and thrown that out the window. And he's really nice, apparently. He's a nice fella, and he wants to know all about England because he's really interested in England. And at first I was thinking, is he supposed to be English? Because he doesn't sound it. Because Robert De Niro can't do accents. And he can't say, what's the word now? Is it Hereford? In the film Ronin, he can't say Hereford. What colour is the shed at Hereford, he says. Hereford. Anyway. And he mispronounces something in this as well, but I forgot what it is. Anyway, he's got to get him some clothes. Anyway, he's got all this wardrobe here. Apparently, he's a bit of a limp-wristed fella, as they'd say in the 70s. So they get some clothes for him. He likes dressing up. He's really a nice fella, but he puts on this gruff persona for the crew. Anyway, so then he's going to start cutting. He starts cutting Tristan's hair, and somehow he's cutting it, but his hair's getting longer. It's obviously because it's magic. It's magic hair cutting. if it shows it. Telling his stories. Joshua Canuck, it says, I love Ronin, but he's a product of New York City. It's a cool film, is Ronin. Great car chases. And there we see his hair's grown, look. Somehow, by cutting it. Anyway. So they're going to disguise Tristan as Captain Shakespeare's nephew. Tristan Thorne, I think it's called. Is that his real name in the film? You know, I think it is. Anyway, they arrive at this city that's got a landing stages and stuff for these ships, these airships, which is kind of cool, I suppose. So they're going to go and see Ricky Gervais now. Here he is. Worst actor in the film. Did they say Robert De Niro was the worst actor in the film? No, Ricky Gervais is the worst actor in the film. It's bloody awful, isn't it? It's been Ricky Gervais, really. Much like Robert De Niro has just been Robert De Niro. There's the best actor in the film. Dexter Fletcher. He says a lot with his eyes. So he's selling the lightning to Ricky Gervais, and he's selling him that. And then Ditchwater Sal appears. I'll have a little chat with her because apparently she knows. She knows the captain. There she is. But she didn't see, the Yvain because she can't see her. Anyway, so off they go. There we go. We find that Tristan's arrived. His nephew. You sure you're going to stop naming the worst actor in the film? Yes. Well, we've got two, haven't we? We've got two vying for position: Ricky Gervais or Robert De Niro. But Dexter Fletcher's still the best actor in the film. Where were we? Anyway, so he's here. There we go. Supposed to be visiting. So there we go. So we're going to have a nice time on board with the pirates. They're not really pirates, the rough and tough seamen, aren't they, so to speak, airmen. Off they go in their flying boat, having a nice dinner. And then we have a montage. We have a bit of a montage now of life aboard ship. And, they're practicing the sword fighting. So Tristan becomes a good sword fighter now because he learns from Captain Shakespeare. There we go. He's playing the piano with Yvain, and everything's lovely. It's showing how they're catching the lightning in the bottles and the barrels in the driving rain. Electricity and water doesn't really mix, but never mind. It's showing how they're doing all that. There we go. Bit more sword fighting, bit of dancing. We learn that we see that Tristan can now best the captain. So he's improved. I don't know how long he's supposed to have got. It must only be a couple of days because he only had a week, didn't he, to get back for I forgot her name, Victoria's birthday, didn't he? So it must just be a couple of days. Anyway, there we go. So that montage ends in a minute. Well, there we go. She's falling in love with Tristan because she's starting to glow. Look, that's showing she's falling in love with him. Nobody else seems to notice this, by the way. Well, they don't say anything if they do. Right, so Lamia's arrived at Ricky Gervais's shop. She wants to know who's been through, etc. I don't know. She wants to know what's going on. Right, the ship lands in the water. Right, they leave now. It gives them a flask of lightning to take with them. So they're going to go off and have the rest of their adventure. Right, then he's saying, have a nice, being all nice to him, and the crew's looking up at him. So he's a big woofter. See, Dexter Fletcher, best actor in the film. Look, he's not saying anything. He's just looking. That's all we need. Anyway, so off they go. off they go. This has arrived at Ricky Gervais's shop. They're all arriving at Ricky Gervais's shop. Oh, a boob's droop. Look, as she gets a bit older. Look, hilarious. Anyway, so she's consulting with her sisters again. Obviously, they've killed some other animal. Well, there, look, the divine information. Never these two headed. All right, they're on a road, and he hears a carriage coming, so they duck into some bushes. But she's glowing. Look, because he's on top of her. So she's glowing. She's ready. You know what I mean? But he's not saying anything. Can nobody see this glow? Nobody say, "Why are you glowing?" Well, I'm a star, obviously, but not everybody knows that, do they? I wouldn't get used to it. I mean, she might be radioactive for all I know. Anyway, so they come back out. There we go. There's Mark Strong and his band of merry men. Why, they're coming to see Captain Shakespeare. Is putting his records on. The mid 1850s. I don't think they had records then, did they? Vinyls. When were they invented? I just swore it was the late 1900s, late 1800s. Sure it was. I could be wrong. Anyway, he's dolling himself up, covering up his mole with a little love heart and his, matron. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, know what I mean? Bit of Monty Python there. What's it like then? Anyway, so he boards the ship, does Septimus and his men, while the captain is below decks, swanning about in his women's clothes. Anyway, so they're going to have a fight. They have a little salute first, and then they get down to it, fighting. Septimus finds the captain, look, dressed in his women's clothes. He must be a lumberjack. Speaking of Monty Python. Suspenders and the bra. Anyway, he finds him. There we go. Wants to know what's going on. So he's gonna starts beating up the captain. Obviously, Captain Shakespeare is no match for Prince Septimus. But then the rest of the crew come in and to save the captain. And Septimus dives out the window. There he goes. Dives out the window, lands in the water, swims to shore. And we learn, and we'll do it later. We'll do it later when we get to that scene. The crew were fine, with the captain not being tough. But anyway, they've got 60 miles to get to the wall. And I think they've only 2 days, I think. Ottercar saying, I used to be a lumberjack. Okay. I'm not saying anything. Did you sleep all night and work all day? That's the main thing. Anyway, so they've got to find a way to get to the wall or whatever, to get 60 miles, in a day. So they have to get a lift off somebody, and I can't remember who they get a lift off. Meanwhile, Captain Shakespeare is sad because the crew have found out that he likes dressing in women's clothing, and they give him a cup of tea, and that's they say, "We knew you were a woofter." That's the actual line in the film. "We knew you were a woofter all along, but we like you being our captain." So they're all fine with him, doing his stuff, having his foibles, I suppose you could say. So they're fine about that. And they go, very good, there's the word thing. Right, what's happening now? Yes, they come across what's her face? I forgot the name now. Ditchwater Sal. They come across her, so they go running up and ask for a lift. There's his mum. Obviously, he doesn't recognise her as his mum because he doesn't know her, does he? She agrees to give him a lift. She can't see, by the way. She can't see Claire Danes. She can't see her. She doesn't know she's there. She's just talking to Tristan. But she agrees to give him a lift to the wall. and she promises not to hurt him or do anything to him. She says he'll arrive in the same condition he is now. But the price is the snowdrop, glass snowdrop thing, because she was saying that's what she was pointing at, going, "Yeah, that's mine. I've been looking for that for years." Remember, his mother gave it to his father. So anyway, he gives her that. It turns out it was like protection. It was like a lucky, a charm. It afforded him protection, and now he's giving it to her. So now, and she changes him into some sort of mouse or rodent or something. There it is, a chipmunk or something. Not an old Yorkshire chipmunk. Did you see that video? I was messing about and laughing at me with a squeaky voice. She turns him into that and puts him in a cage. This is where we find out that she can't see. There we go. She can't see Lamia. Yvain. She can't see Yvain. Yvain's trying to hit her. Look, and there's all this green magic stuff happening. She can't touch her. Look, and Ditchwater Sal can't even see her or hear her. There we go. Well, she just hitches a ride. And off they go to Market Town. Mark Strong's found his horse. There we go. He's galloping along. They must be going at a fair old trot in that carriage, though, because it's not exactly a sports car, is it? Anyway, this is a nice scene. This is a scene that this scene actually turned the film around for me. It's a nice little scene with some good acting from Claire Danes. She's basically, while he's she calls him a mouse, but he's not a mouse, is he? He's like, say, he's a chipmunk or something. I don't know what he is. She's like expressing her love for him, that she's fallen in love with him. She thinks he doesn't understand because he's a mouse, and so it's a nice little scene, and it's a good bit of acting. And this is the part of the film where I'm thinking, actually, it's not a bad film. So this actually turned the film round for me, because I'm a big softie. Anyway, so there we go. She's doing all that, and he's watching. Right, so they arrive at Market Town. She puts him on the floor. There's Ditchwater Sal, turns him back into human again, and she says, your memories will come back. You might feel a bit weird after being a mouse for a while. So, and then they part ways, and he says the wall's a mile in that direction. Yes, 2 hours in, I still keep thinking that's Paltrow. Yes, she's very like Gwyneth Paltrow, especially in that view as well. Anyway, but they wanted Sarah Michelle Gellar originally. Anyway, never mind. Right, so she gets there you go. They go to the Slaughtered Prince. Is that a play on American Werewolves, the Slaughtered Lamb? I don't know. But they go to the Slaughtered Prince. They get a room. They must have some money. He's having a bath again. He's asleep, and he sees her in the bath, and she gets all shy. And then he's remembered now, and he heard what she said in the carriage, and we find that they love each other. He doesn't love Victoria anymore. He loves Yvain. There you go. She's glowing. They're all in love, and it's all nice. The ghosts are waiting. Meanwhile, she's going. It's coming to a head. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Don't worry. He takes a lock of Yvain's hair. Oh, by the way, we learn also that if Yvain follows Tristan through the wall, she'll actually turn into a meteorite. She'll turn into Stardust. She'll lose her human form. So she's only human in Stormhold, in the magical realm. Of course, it's a fairy tale. Right, so he takes a lock of her hair and wraps it up in a doily. He goes downstairs and he wakes up the innkeeper and tells him leaves a message for Yvain if she asks where he is. He says, don't know if it repeats the message word for word, but it all comes out wrong. But then again, Tristan's not known for giving his clear instructions, I suppose. Anyway, So off he goes. He's going to the wall. He's going back to the the village of Wall. That's what he's doing. So he's the guard who were there, honest, and the guard just says he quits. Or is that? Well, that's a bit later, actually. That's a bit later. But anyway, she's woke up and seen he's not there. He's heading back to the village. Here, she's asking, all glowing again still. She's asking the innkeeper where her friend has gone. And he says, he's gone back to Wall to see Victoria because he knows who he loves, or words to that effect. So obviously she's thinking he's still in love with Victoria and is now spurning her. But, she got the wrong end of the stick. She stopped glowing. Anyway, he arrives back at Wall in his new fancy togs. He's walking through the market town. There's Una, Tristan's mother. By the way, it went all there you go. People all different colours looking market town. Didn't see them earlier. They must have thought we need some more ethnic people in here. By the way, Una tried to follow Elaine, but she couldn't because she was still tied with the cord. Because remember, she's still a slave of Ditchwater Sal. Right, so he's gone to see Victoria, and he's not there. So she's following him. She's heading for the wall. Gone to see Victoria, and makes out that he's going to kiss her. There you go. He says he's got the star, the falling star, and with skyships, you're gonna get all sorts. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Makes out you think he's going to kiss her, but he doesn't kiss her. He just says, get a life, basically. Grow up. Stop being a horrible person. Because he doesn't love her anymore. He loves Elaine. And then Humphrey arrives with his little dagger thing that were in a walking stick, I think. And he's got his big sword. Oh, and then Victoria opens up the doily, and she says, "Oh, there's just dust in here." I think she calls it Stardust. So he has a look. He opens it up, and he sees that it's Stardust. So he realizes then that she can't follow him across the wall, not through the wall. So he heads back, heading back. There you go, goes back. So as he's running, Una's driving her carriage through the streets of Market Town. I don't know where Ditchwater Sal is. I can't remember. Oh, she was asleep. Ditchwater Sal was asleep. Then she wakes up. She's locked her in, and so she's heading for the wall. Meanwhile, Lamia's in the other carriage there. They're heading for the gap in the wall. I think the guard's lurking about somewhere. Look, she's about to step through. There's the guard. About to step through, but Una stops her. And then Ditchwater Sal intervenes and pulls her back. But she can't see. Remember, she still can't see Yvain. But then Lamia arrives. So her and Ditchwater Sal have a little contretemps and have a little fight. And Lamia makes her head disappear. We'll see in a moment. There we go. Have a little bit of a magic fight. And then Potter Sal's head comes off. Lovely. Obviously, it's not gaudy look. It's all done, all very Harry Pottery. So that's the end, and then she disappears. She disappears in a puff of smoke. Well, they're all laughing and waiting for the puff of smoke. There we go. So she's now dead. So the spell is undone, and she's free now. Is Una. There we go. See, that's going to disappear. There we go. She's free now. But Yvain has got to go with Lamia, and she's taking Una along with her as well. So it's taking them both. Meanwhile, there he is. He's coming. Look, he's Tristan, and the guard tells him, he quits. He quits. So Tristan takes Beachwater Sal's carriage and heads after them. Don't take them long to get back to this bloody castle of hers either. Don't know how far away it was supposed to be, but I'm sure it was supposed to be quite away. Remember, they spent the whole film, getting to where they are, and they get back to the other castle in no time at all. But, or maybe not, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They're not on a ticking clock, I suppose, anymore, are they? But anyway. And Mark Strong's heading there as well. Those following the carriage tracks. Right, so they arrive at the castle, which were apparently inspired by somewhere at Versailles. I've forgotten. What does it say? Where are we? The design of the witch's lair was inspired by the Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles in France, but with black instead of white and silver instead of gold. There we go. There we go. Bit of triv. Right, so they've arrived back there. So all they've got to do is cut out Yvain's heart, and they'll be young again. By the way, what's his face? Septimus. He wants to be young forever. He wants to kill her as well, so he can eat her heart and be young forever and king forever. That's what he wants. Right, so they arrive. So they're going to join forces to get inside. For the moment, hopefully that doesn't last. Anyway, so they get inside and interrupt the ceremony. There's the ghost watching. Oh, he's got a towel or something. As Jason Fleming. There he has. He's got something to cover himself up with. Right, one of the witches shoots fire at Septimus, and he's got a super fireproof coat. He just has a few little flames that he puts out. Don't burn his hair or anything. He's fine. This is where Una tells Tristan that she's his mother, and all that jazz. And I think he gets the he finds it in the carriage. I forgot to say he finds the what they call it, snowdrop charm thing. So he puts that back on. So he's got some protection from the snowdrop charm. So they're still carrying on, waiting to get on with cutting out Yvain's heart while all this fighting's going on. He kills one of the sisters. I don't know. I think he might have killed her already. We might have missed that bit. Yes, we have. He's killed one of the sisters. That's which one? Empora, whatever they call her. We missed it. Yes, that bit there. Yes, he's killed her. He threw like an axe or whatever at her and impaled her to the wall. There she is, dying. All right. So there's just two of them left now. So she's going to use, Lamia's going to use a voodoo doll to break his arms and legs, and then she throws it in the water, so he starts floating about in the air as though he's in water, and drowns basically. He drowns, and he dies, and then he appears, as we'll see. There he is. He appears all wet with them. So all the brothers are dead now, all the princes. Who's going to be king? I think they might actually say that. But meanwhile, Tristan's still there. They're going to get on with cutting out her heart. So Tristan sends his mother outside, says, go away outside. He's going to deal with this, which is glowing because Tristan's near. Right, so she jumps over. I forgot, is it Momo or whatever they call her? Wet for eternity, yikes. Oh dear. It's a bit like that here with this heat, to be honest. I I forgot her name. Hang on. Where are they? Marmo. I was close. Marmo. This is Marmo leaping off the banister or the whatever the hell it's called. Oh, and he sets all the animals on her. So he sets all the ferrets on her, or weasels, wherever the hell they are. Sets all those on her. And then he sets the wolves on her. And so she basically gets ripped apart by animals, and then all the animals run away. There they are. So there we go. So that's 2 of them dead. But she brings she uses the voodoo doll again. Does Lamia. Is she tied up with oh no, they're no, we see them in a bit though, yes. I thought she was tied up with these ropes then, but they're behind her, they're holding up the chandeliers, as we'll see in a bit. Right, so she's using magic on him, but it's not working because he's got the protection of the snowdrop. So she's going to use she starts using it's a bit like Darth Vader, she starts dragging pots and vases and stuff, hitting him with all that. And then she uses the then he uses the lightning. Remember, he had the lightning thing. He uses that on her to fly in. There we go. So she ends up by the water. Remember what we're in there. She gets the voodoo doll and starts, manipulating it and using Septimus's body to sword fight. So it's like a zombie, he's all flopping about and stuff. And obviously can't kill him. He stabs him, but obviously can't kill him. Remember, Tristan never kills anybody in this film either, by the way. Just as a by the by. He kind of killed Marmo, didn't he? Because he set all the animals on her, but he technically didn't do it himself. The animals did it. And he hasn't killed, he's running through there, look. He hasn't killed Septimus either, because he's already dead. But he were willing to, weren't he? He were willing to. Anyway, this is where he sees the ropes holding up the chandeliers, and he starts cutting them and using the wrong ones. Eventually gets the right one and crushes Septimus's body with one of the chandeliers. There we go. And she's got him. She's gonna, I think she's using the force on him or whatever, and she's gonna kill him. And the I think the something breaks. I can't remember. Anyway. But then she kind of has a change of heart. She sees her sister's dead and everything, and then she says, "What's the point in all this?" And I thought, "Oh, for God's sake!" She says, "What's the point? Just go, just leave. There's no point in this. You're 2 beautiful people, and I'm so ugly." And then, as they're going, the door closes and all the lights go out and all that, and it gets all evil looking. And then she starts laughing. There we go. They're about to go, and then it all gets evil, and she starts laughing. Look, it gets darker, and all the windows start smashing. So there's all this broken glass flying about, but they don't get hurt. It must be sugar glass. So she's doing that, and she says she don't care about her sisters. It means all the power from the Stardust things, all for me. So here she goes. She's going to cut out her heart and take it all for herself. And then Yvain says, "Hug me, Tristan, and close your eyes." Like in Indiana Jones. Close your eyes. And she's going to do what stars do. Obviously, stars shine, don't they? So she shines really brightly. And vaporizes Michelle Pfeiffer. I think we've gone past it, haven't we? Back a bit. Here we go. She shines brightly. Come on, vaporize me. There you go. And she vaporizes Lamia. Except it's not bloody showing it. There we go. Choo, there we go. That's the end of Lamia. She killed her. Tristan won't kill, but Yvain will. And all they're happy. So that's everybody's saved. Yay! And then he finds that he sees it's the necklace that Yvain were wearing. It's broken. There's just the jewel. So he goes and picks it up, and it turns red again because he is the last male, the bloodline of whatever. Because remember, you were a princess, Una, wasn't she? So he's the last male heir. So he's going to be king. And then they realise, well, if we found out who the new king is, they're all going off, to the afterlife. So they all go. This is where Una explains what's going on. Then they realise they're going, look, way. They're going to the other side. The other side. Then it cuts to sometime later. They're being crowned king and queen of Stormhold. Everybody's there. Look, the pirates are there, and he gives a little arr to them. His dad's there with Una. I don't know if they're the thing now. Even Humphrey and Victoria are there. So the ball must have gone through the gap in the wall to get there. There's his dad and Una. And so the crowned king and queen of Stormhold, and they reigned for 80 years. Oh, and Una gave her a present. Crystalline palm went white to red. Bit of Logan's Run. Yeah, it is. Last day. Capricorn 15. And then we learn, I've got to say, Una gave him a present, and it turns out it's a Babylon candle, a big one. So that's her present to them. And we learned that they ruled for 80 years, and they had children, and the children, were ready to take over from them. And when they must have had like a suicide pact or something, I don't know. But when they were ready to stop being king and queen, they used the Babylon candle to go to the stars. Oh, this is giving them the Babylon candle. Thought we got past that bit. There it is. Phallic. So the ruled for 80 years, and then when the time was over, they used the Babylon candle to travel to the stars, and where they live forever in the stars. Not very close to each other, are they? But never mind. So there we go, and that were a nice little ending, and that's the end of the film. I think it goes to the credits then. I do believe. Are you going to go to the credits? And that's it. Yes, that's the end of the film. So there you go. So I know it's in my Monday Moan, but I didn't actually hate it. The first time I watched it all the way through, because I tried watching it before, as I said, and didn't get very far because I didn't like it. So I forced myself to watch it all the way through, and I wasn't liking it, to be honest. But then we got to that scene with her in the carriage with the mouse, Tristan, and that kind of just brought the film round to me, and I liked it from then on for some reason. But it does have its problems. I don't like Robert De Niro. I didn't like Ricky Gervais. But everybody else, did a decent job. They did a decent job, and it's not bad. So I don't hate it. So cross this off the Monday Moan list. It's not a bad film. I don't know if I'd recommend it, to be honest, but it's not a bad film. 3 episodes in. Hang on, what's that saying? And you're already lost the format. I know, it's true. It's true, bloody film. Glad you've come around a little bit. And Ottercar says, was thinking that how many light years apart? This is it. Unless they're in like a binary system. They're just closer than they appear. Anyway. But yeah. Oh, hang on. Wrong one. There we go. Yes, 5 episodes in. I've already lost the format. I don't know. Might lose it again next week. So I've decided what film I'm doing next week. But in a minute. So yeah, I did quite enjoy it, to be honest. I didn't love it. I didn't think it was brilliant, but I didn't think it was terrible either. It was fine. I'll probably never watch it again, to be honest. But I didn't think it was garbage. And there were some scenes in it I did like. A lot of scenes I didn't like, but it were okay. It were okay. I suppose Matthew Vaughn's a safe pair of hands. He's a good director, isn't he? And anyway. So we'll leave it there. I've gone on long enough. What we're going to say? Oh, yes, next week. I've decided what I'm doing next week. I usually decide later, but next week I'm doing. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Because I probably hear howls of derision. Next week is Buckaroo Banzai and his adventures across the eighth dimension or whatever the hell it's called. I'm watching that one because I don't like that one. I've seen that one all the way through twice, and I don't like it. I don't like that film at all. So, pressing the wrong button. There we go. So yeah, I don't like that one at all. So that's what I'm going to do. Buckaroo Banzai next week. So look out for that. I've got that on DVD up there somewhere. I'll try and dig it out. Anyway, right. So thanks everybody. Thanks Wingrace. Thanks a brief appearance from Archmage Frey. Thanks Joshua. And thanks Ottercar. And we also had somebody else, a newbie in, didn't we? We had where is he? William Barr we had in earlier on. I don't know if he's still here, but thank you for joining in. Right, so we'll leave it there. So, hang on, where are we? So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll see thee.